Coming up on today's show, the Polestar 2 beats the Tesla Model 3 when it comes to towing capacity in Europe. IBM says it's figured out how to make Cobalt-Free batteries, and the Tesla Cybertruck might not be here yet, but that's not stopping all sorts of people from trying to build their own. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean transportation and energy, and the last regular show of 2019. Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Auto Association. Find out how you can accelerate the electrification of transportation today at electricauto.org. Also, thanks go to the 4th annual Carbon Exchange raffle. There's still time to get a chance to buy a ticket for the Tesla of your dreams, so stick around until the end of the show and I'll tell you how to enter, as well as how to get 15% off of your tickets to Fully Charged Live USA this coming February 1st and February 2nd in Austin, Texas. The Polestar 2 electric sedan has received official type approval in Europe to tow up to 1,500 kilograms. This gives it the highest towing capacity of any compact electric car on sale there. If you're outside of Europe, you may be confused by this news. After all, Tesla Model 3 owners in other parts of the world have been towing some crazy things with their cars for the last couple of years. In Europe, however, cars must undergo special testing in order to be approved to tow, and Model 3 is only legally allowed to tow 910 kilos in Europe, which is less than the Polestar 2. While this will encourage some Europeans to opt for the Polestar 2 over the Model 3, it is unlikely to dramatically affect Tesla sales. A legal case has been launched in the US against some of the world's largest tech companies, including Tesla, alleging that they aided and abetted mining companies in the Democratic Republic of the Congo who engaged in human rights abuses, corruption, and child labor in order to source cobalt for use in lithium-ion battery packs. Tesla plans to go cobalt-free in its lithium-ion cells and actually currently sources its cobalt from outside of the DRC. Since other companies are not named but appear guilty, it's also not clear why Tesla was singled out. I should also note cobalt is used in other industries too, including in the petroleum industry, so this is certainly not a problem specific to EVs. We can hope all involved, including EV companies and petrol companies, do everything they can to tackle this head on. But this might not remain a problem for long, as IBM's research arm has just announced a brand new cell chemistry that doesn't need to use heavy metals like nickel and cobalt. It was discovered using artificial intelligence development techniques. While details are a little sparse right now, the chemistry uses compounds extracted from seawater and results in a safe liquid electrolyte that is proven to minimize the growth of metal dendrites within the cell during charging. The dendrites increase risk of fire and short circuit. The new battery chemistry is also lower cost to produce and offers 800 watt-hours per litre, which is in line with the best lithium-ion cells. However, it's far better at accepting fast charging, 5 minutes to 80%. Watch this space. Rivian has been teasing us with talks of autonomous vehicle capabilities at some point down the line, but a new patent that surfaced this week via Teslarati shows that Rivian's goal in the future is to offer something akin to a robotic chauffeur to those unable to drive themselves. The patent was actually filed in June this year and seems to cover use case scenarios when someone is in the car who is, quote, not fully competent. In other words, it details a use case scenario when the car, operating in so-called guardian mode, keeps occupants safe while executing a pre-programmed route, while limiting what the passenger can change. It's certainly a new take on autonomous driving, and one I'd be very interested to see in operation. The new emissions credits, essentially a little like California's zero-emission vehicle mandate, is being blamed for the reason why Mercedes-Benz has just announced the EQC won't come to the US until next year. The pushback in plans, it was originally due this year, are allegedly to help Mercedes-Benz ensure it meets its targets on vehicle emissions credits in Europe, since it will have more EQCs to sell there if it sends all of its production to European buyers. But this is not so good for customers in the US, who may just end up buying something else instead. If you're a Tesla Model 3 dual-motor owner who feels that the 4.4-second sprint time of your car is just a tad too slow, Tesla now has the answer for you, a $2,000 software unlock that will boost sprint times by almost 13%. Like Tesla's autopilot over-the-air purchase, you can simply buy the unlock for your car, dropping the Sprint Light Derby to 3.9 seconds. Given a lot of Tesla owners like the high performances of their car, I'm sure many will opt for the upgrade. But honestly, I'm not sure how many people can actually tell a half-second difference in regular driving. At $400 per tenth of a second, though, well, it's pretty expensive. While the Volkswagen ID.3 isn't due to head to dealers until next year, production is now well underway, with cars waiting in stock until Volkswagen's official launch date next year. This week, however, we heard that Volkswagen hasn't yet finalised the software for the ID.3, and cars being produced thus far have, quote, massive software problems with them. The headline has been on many an EV site, but what people are missing here is that Volkswagen appears to be readying itself to manually update the software on all of its cars before they head to customers, and for now, it doesn't appear to include a result to a delay in launch. Here's hoping the new, revised software fixes any remaining operational issues long before launch. Ahead of its official launch of the iX3 electric SUV next year, BMW has been teasing some of the details of the fifth-generation electric drivetrain that will be powering the same. According to the materials published this week, the iX3 will get a 72 kilowatt-hour battery pack with a claimed range of 273 miles on the WLTP test cycle. Powered by a rare earth metal-free motor at the rear wheels, the iX3 will produce 286 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Because this new fifth-generation drivetrain is designed to be scaled, it leaves the door open for more powerful and more affordable variants further down the line. Some Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X owners are discovering certain autopilot functions have been dramatically curtailed in order to ensure Tesla remains in compliance with local European laws. The distance over which someone works has been reduced, auto lane change has now got to be completed within 5 seconds or deactivates, and attention reminders now ping the driver every 15 seconds if the car doesn't detect someone's hands on the wheel. It's already caused a lot of frustration among European Tesla owners who this week were already celebrating some good news from Tesla, its first European V3 supercharger. And now it's time for Short Shorts. Mini USA has officially opened the order books for the Mini Cooper SE. With an on-the-road price of under $31,000 including delivery, it's more affordable than many other electric cars out there, but only has a 110-mile range on the EPA test cycle. After a few blips in its share price earlier this year, Tesla's stock price is breaking new records, breaking the magic $400 barrier and sitting pretty close to the now infamous $420 that Elon Musk mused the company would be worth. Seems he wasn't far off. Nice one, Elon. Dominion Energy has announced that it's partnered with Thomas Built Buses and Proterra to supply 50 all-electric school buses to districts in Virginia, USA. It's a first-of-its-kind initiative. Schools will buy the buses, but Dominion Energy will own the power electronics. 200 buses will be added to the fleet every year for the next 5 years. Lucid Air has reduced the official reservation price for its Lucid Air sedan to $1,000, down from $2,500 previously. Lucid said it's still on track for a late 2020 launch, and those who have already reserved at $2,500 can request a $1,500 adjustment rebate. An electric fin that can fit on any surfboard has blown through its Kickstarter goals in a few 3 weeks before the end of its campaign. The Boost Surfing Fin had set a $50,000 goal, but it's already well on its way to double that, and the campaign isn't due to launch, or end rather, until January 10th. Tesla may be offering an upgrade program to customers wanting to update their car's infotainment system to the latest and greatest version, but for $2,000, Elon Musk said on Twitter this week that it's really not worth it, as it's not needed for full self-driving. Volkswagen appears to be readying a stealthy new version of its ID.3 for launch, called the ID.3 Pro Power. While it will have the same 62 kilowatt-hour battery pack as the mid-range ID.3 Pro, it will have a more powerful motor, the one found in the ID.3 Pro S. Electrify America and Bank of America have announced a brand new partnership that will see Electrify America install rapid charging stations at B of A branches across the US. It's all part of a drive to install charging stations at places where you might already be heading, but ending up spending 10 or 20 minutes there, so you can charge your car up while you run that errand. GM has pulled out of its planned attendance at CES 2020, citing delays to its planned vehicle reveal schedule caused by UAW industrial action earlier this year. Instead, it plans to hold an event toward the end of January to reveal what it had planned to reveal in Las Vegas. EVgo has announced that it plans to expand its successful program of installing Tesla-compatible charge cables at its high-power quick-charging stations. By the end of next year, all EVgo sites should have Tesla-compatible hardware alongside CCS and CHAdeMO connectors. Honda has announced some minor updates to its 2020 Clarity full-cell sedan, improved cold weather startup performance. Regardless, however, customers will still only be able to get the California-only car on a $379 per month lease program. A new US spending bill has been agreed that does include extensions to tax credits for home electric vehicle charging infrastructure, as well as electric motorcycles and fuel cell vehicles. The credits have been extended retroactively to the back end of 2017 through to 2020. So if you've installed infrastructure in the last 2 years, you can get a rebate. Piaggio Vehicles has launched its Indian market Ape e-City three-wheeler. For now, it's only going to be available in 3 Indian cities, but will be expanded to other markets through June next year. The Ape e-City is designed to make use of battery swap stations, keeping their owners on the road. Other concessions made during the latest US spending package this week were designed to support biodiesel and so-called renewable diesel, but small-scale solar and electric vehicle incentives lost out, reportedly due to intervention from President Donald Trump, who didn't want either. Critics say the new budget will do very little for renewable energy growth and combating climate change. While many people love the angular styling of Cybertruck, German TÜV inspectors are casting doubt over if the truck's super-strong exterior will actually allow it to pass crash test standards in Europe. As of now, it says significant modifications would be needed in order to pass testing. Dealers in Europe are about to start paying sales staff commissions not on the final sales price of their cars, but based on those cars' emissions. It's going to incentivize salespeople to sell more zero and low emission vehicles, as it will translate to higher bonuses. When Tesla started receiving deposits for Cybertruck, Elon Musk took to posting numbers on his Twitter account to represent the number of pre-reservations Tesla had got. Now BMW is trolling Musk, doing the same thing with the number of electrified cars it's sold to date. However, I should note, electrified does include everything, including hybrid cars. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. The folks behind the Reservation GXE all-electric converted Corvette have just announced that it set a new speed record, hitting 211.9 miles per hour on a test track. The Reservation GXE has either a 7-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is pretty unusual for an electric vehicle today. But that gearbox allows it to ramp up the speed without overspinning its motor. Engineers on the project say that they're hopeful it will hit 220 miles per hour on a test run very soon. Customers can order one of the Reservation GXEs for themselves, but it will cost $750,000. And finally, it's been more than a month since the Tesla Cybertruck was unveiled, and we've seen all kinds of videos and sightings of it in various places, including, of course, Tesla CEO Elon Musk taking it out on the town in LA. But what we've also seen are the myriad of creative souls who've tried to build their own. We've seen a golf cart become a Cybertruck, a Chinese knockoff on display in China, and a Russian... I really don't even know what this is. But when YouTuber Airrack made his own Cybertruck and drove it around town, well, yeah, I guess it proves people want Cybertruck, right? That's about it for the news portion of the show. But before I go, I bet you'd like to know about how to get a Tesla for just $250 US. You interested? Well, let me tell you about the 4th annual carbon raffle from Climate Exchange, one of today's show sponsors. They're a fantastic non-profit working with states across the US to implement smart policies that impact our planet for the better. And this year, the carbon raffle has been extended all the way out to Valentine's Day. That's February 14th, 2020. You can enter today at carbonraffle.org for the chance to win a Tesla of your choice, taxes included, of up to $195,000 value, with runners-up prizes of $10,000 and $5,000 each. Tickets are pretty limited, so grab yours by going here. You'll find full terms and conditions on the site, but I should note that the auction, the raffle, is only open to US residents. Sorry. I also want to tell you about Fully Charged Live and their first ever US show next year on February 1st and 2nd in Austin, Texas. Our whole crew will be there, as will plenty of other EV YouTubers, including the guys from Now You Know, Rich Rebuilds, Answers with Joe, Everyday Astronaut, and of course us. We're now less than 6 weeks out, but there's still time to get 15% off your tickets by heading to the link above or in the show notes and putting TE 2019 in the discount window. Finally, thanks to the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's News Roundup show. Advocating and educating the world about electric vehicles since 1967, the Electric Auto Association believes that the future depends on us going electric today. You can find out how to become an EV educator yourself, discover a local monthly meetup, or just talk to real-world EV owners about what it's like to drive on electrons by going to electricauto.org. As usual, if you'd like to help us make more videos like this one, please do like, comment and subscribe. You can send us a couple of dollars our way every month through Patreon, visit our swag store, and if you fancy it, send us a coffee using Ko-fi. Anything you can send our way is appreciated, and with our CES budget already standing at well over several $1,000s, we promise you'll put any donation you send us to good use. This is actually the last live show of the year, and we're taking a short break next week ahead of CES. But until then, thanks for joining me, and don't forget to be better, kinder, and smarter with one another. Happy holidays, and keep evolving!